Jane and welcome to this Pilates with a resistance band session. Now you can see that I have a delightful selection of bands here today, so let me just show you what I've got. Know that you can use, if you've just got one type of band, that's absolutely fine, and I know this is the type of band that most people have got, just a simple resistance band. Just allows you to get some extra work in when you're doing Pilates. I've also got a longer band, I'm going to show you, where I have tied knots in either end of it, so that I've got a loop at either end of the band. So if you've got the sort of band that's got handles on the end of it, it's very similar to this, so that's absolutely great. I've also got this morning a loop. These are also great. I'm going to show you some exercises with the loop, but I'll also show you how you can use just a plain resistance band to get exactly the same exercises. Now I'm going to assume you're already warmed up, so we're going to go straight into some exercises so that we can get you working as quickly as possible. So if you ever haven't warmed up, please just take 5 minutes and warm up and then come straight on back to this video. Right, so let's get started lying on the floor. You'll notice I have a block. I always pop a block under my head. I find it more comfortable to lie down that way. You might do so as well. So as we're always doing with Pilates, we're going to make sure before we start moving that we're at least lying in good neutral position. So what does that mean? It means we've got feet in line with hips. So start with feet together, toes out, heels out. Take a quick look. You want to make sure that both your feet are pointing directly forward. And we've got a straight line from second toe to knee to hips. We're checking that we've got the weight evenly through both butt cheeks, and we're checking that we've got the pelvis in neutral alignment. So that just means you've got a neutral curve under your spine and you're feeling comfortable. So you're not either pressed down into the mat or arching up overly. Also want to make sure we've got the ribs softly closed. So quick check with the hands, roll them down and then relax the shoulders away. So I'm going to start by using just a plain old resistance band, which you'll notice coordinates nicely with my leggings. And we're going to start with the 100. So if you haven't warmed up and you're not warm yet, this will certainly warm you up. We're going to take a nice deep breath in. We're going to float one leg up to tabletop. So checking we've got knee in line with hip, foot in line with knee. And then we're going to inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to float the other leg up to tabletop. For this exercise, we're going to be pumping our arms. So you're going to place your band over your shins. And you're going to make sure you've got a little bit of tension through the hands. And you're going to be pulling down against it. We're going to take a nice deep breath in. As we exhale, we're going to peel head and shoulders up off the mat. So you've now got your lower back flattened into the mat. You've got your knees above your hips. And we're going to pump the arms. We're going to pump them quite briskly. And we're going to breathe in for a count of 5 pumps and breathe out for a 5 pumps. Oh, words are hard. What we're trying to do is keep as still as possible. I can see my legs are bouncing about a bit. I'm sure yours are as well. What we're trying to do is we're trying to feel, as we pump down, we're trying to feel into these muscles here. So we're pushing down against the resistance band. Good. Let's take just a couple more here. Perfect. All right, let's take one leg down, then the other leg down. And we're just going to pop the band round one foot, extend the leg out. So you'll notice I prefer long bands. I'm also not very tall, so that also helps matters. So we're going to start by lying on the floor. Now as you take your legs out in an extension, you're going to find that the weight of your legs might make your back arch up off the floor a little bit. So if that's the case, I want you to consciously just flip yourself back so that you are back in a neutral spine alignment. We're going to inhale. We've got band in the hands, nice and tight. We're going to nod the chin up to the chest and lift the head and shoulders up off the mat. And we're going to use the band, help us to roll ourselves up all the way up to seated. And as we come up to seated, we're going to sit with both butt cheeks evenly on the floor, sitting nice and tall. We inhale, we're going to tuck the tailbone under, start scooping the belly button into the spine. And again, we're going to use the band to just help to slow our descent so that we can get each of our vertebrae down to the mat one at a time, all the way down. Inhale, nod the chin to the chest. Start peeling up and a big exhale to bring ourselves up. So if you're a little bit tight through the lower back, you might find that your back, rather than articulating up nicely, comes up in a little bit of a chunk, as mine does. But that's what we've practiced. We practiced trying to get the articulation through each of the vertebrae on the down and the up. Let's make one more. So nice deep breath in, peeling ourselves up, keeping the shoulders away from the ears and relaxed. And back down again. Making sure you create a C curve with your spine, pulling the belly button in. Ah, beautiful. All right, let's take one foot out of the band, take the other leg straight, keep this knee bent, and we're going to take a nice deep breath in, and we're going to reach this leg up towards the ceiling. So relax the shoulders, keep the elbows on the floor, and we're going to use the band to support our leg circle. And what we're trying to focus on is getting a little bit of movement through the hip. So the leg rotating round in the hip socket, loosening up, just a couple of circles in either direction. And then we're going to swap sides. So we just take a few circles in either direction on the other leg. And one of my focuses is to try and keep the rest of the hips still. So I'm just circling the leg in the hip socket. Excellent. All right. Let's just release it down. I'm going to swap over to another band for another exercise. So this is my band that's got my loops on either end. So if you want to, tie some loops in the end of your band. And I'm just going to pop the ends of the band round each foot. So it acts as a nice old loop. There we go. And then I'm going to float one leg up to tabletop, then the other, and then extend the legs up above me. So just a moment ago we did single leg circles, and now we're going to do some double leg circles. So again, relaxing the shoulders, holding on to the middle of the band with your feet in the bands, trying to extend your legs. We're going to take a nice deep breath in, and we're going to let the legs drop down, and we're trying to keep the angle of the spine the same. So if your legs get to a certain point and you feel your back arching up, stop. And then we're going to circle the legs back up to the starting position. So we're going to drop them down as low as we can go and circle them wide. Let's take one more here, and we'll go in the other direction. So this time we circle out and down, and we lift up. We circle out and down and lift up. So these two exercises, stolen from the Pilates reformer repertoire, called hip circles down and up. Helps us to get some mobility through the hips and also works the abdominals. So let's lower one leg down, then the other, and we're going to gently roll ourselves up to seated. Take that one off. I'm going to move my little block out of the way. So the great thing about Pilates is, you know, we get to do some exercises, we get to do some releases. So hip circle, while hip circle exercises are definitely an exercise, they're also something of a release. This exercise really is a release. So we're going to take the band, we're going to pop it behind the back, and we're going to hold on to the shins. I'm going to try not to crack my head open on anything behind me. That'd be Orkies. So I want you to just hold on to your shins with the band behind you, and you're trying to press your heels towards your butt. Again, we're going to take a nice deep breath in. We're going to tuck the tailbone under. We're going to roll through each of the vertebrae and exhale as we come back up to seated. So inhale, rounding through the spine. Exhale to come back to seated. And what we're trying to do is say keep the heels to about the same closeness to the bottom the whole time, so we're not using our legs to drive momentum. Here's the last one. Okay, beautiful. Let's take the band out, hold on to the back of one leg, actually put the band around one leg, and we're going to gently lower ourselves down to the floor. So we've now got the band round one foot, and we're going to extend the other leg up above us. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in. We're going to go into single leg stretch with a single straight leg stretch kicker, because, you know, I like to confuse my brain a little bit by doing different things with each of my limbs. So we're going to push out, extending the knee fully, keeping the lower back down to the mat, keeping the butt evenly on the mat. And we'll take one more and lower the leg down. And then, because nobody likes to be wonky, We'll swap sides. So we'll bend this knee, extend this knee. Oh, you see there, my brain's going already. I've completely messed that up, haven't I? So let's do it slowly. See, it's been a long week. So pressing out, lowering down. Pressing out, lowering down. See, that's the joy of Pilates, isn't it? We work our brains as well as our bodies. Fabulous. All right, gently lower the head down to the mat. Bring one foot down, then the other. Give yourself a little moment of breather. And then we're going to pop the band back round both feet. So stepping the legs up into the band, getting the knees above the hips, feet in line with the knees. Inhale, as we exhale, we're going to peel head and shoulders up off the mat. You'll notice I'm keeping my elbows down to the mat for the whole time. I'm going to keep my lower back down to the mat. So this time we're going to double leg stretch. So we extend the knees and we bend the knees. We extend the knees and we bend the knees. We're going to try and keep the lower back down. We're going to try and keep the upper body still. Let's take one more here and we're going to make it a little bit harder. So this time, extend your legs up above you, turn the toes out, and this time we take a double straight leg stretch. Again, we're really trying to keep the upper body super still as we lower the legs up and down. Last one. Fantastic. All right, bring the feet together, bend your knees, gently put your head back down on the floor, and then lower both feet down to the floor. Excellent work. All right, so we've done loads of work for the abdominals. Let's work into the sides of the glutes a little bit. So I'm going to rock you over to the side and I'm going to give you a couple of options. Now, if you've got a loop, loop's excellent. You can pop that around your legs now. So just popping it up above your knees. Now, if you haven't got a loop, doesn't matter. Easy thing to do is to use your resistance band, and I will show you how we do that. We fold the resistance band in half and then try and get it even. We simply thread it through there. So you don't even have to tie knots in it. I'm double banding here. So you get exactly the same with a loop or with a band and without tying knots in your band, because we all know once you start tying knots in your band, it's virtually impossible once you start resisting against it to get them undone again. So let's line ourselves up. If you're lying on a mat, which I'm clearly not, make sure you've got your elbow in a straight line with your bottom and your knees in a straight line with your hips and your feet in a straight line with your knees. So you look like a giant letter Z. We're also going to rest the top hand behind the head. And we're just going to take a variety of exercises that are going to focus both on glute medius, so this nice butt muscle here, but also inner thighs as well. So taking a nice deep breath in. As we exhale, we're going to squeeze the leg up, and as we inhale, we're going to resist down. So we're not just letting the band squeeze us down, we're squeezing up, and we're taking our time to bring it back down again. Hello, body. We love this. No, we don't. Two more here, please. So making sure that everything else is staying still, just the top leg moving. Super. And then we're going to bring the leg back down together. And this time we're going to keep the feet together and we're simply going to open the knees. So you're not going to get such a big range of movement, but you're thinking about exactly the same thing. So squeezing open, squeezing back shut. Also pay a little bit of attention to your lower leg, which should be staying in exactly the same position the whole time. Good. Let's take one more here. Fabulous. All right, so nobody likes to be wonky. Let's swap over and do the other side. Hopefully your bottom muscles are already feeling this. And you're going to notice as you swap over to the second side that, hey, the bottom one's already hurting a little bit and now it's going to have to stabilize you. So you might find that it hurts a little bit more. So again, make sure you're lined up in a good straight line, elbow to bottom, knees in front of hips, top hand resting on head. So we start, big squeeze open and a big squeeze shut. We're trying to bring the calves, the knees and the thighs all together at exactly the same time. So I'm going to do about 5, 6 of these. Excellent. Let's take one more. And then we'll bring the feet together and we rotate. So it's more of a clam action. Rotating the leg in the hip socket, squeezing the knee back together again. Last 2 here. Fabulous. And your last one. Oh, superb. Hey, listen, if it helps you, give your bottom a little bit of a slap out at the end of that. All right, so we've worked on our back, we've worked on our side. I think it's time to do a little bit of work on our fronts. So I've got a loop, as I said, so I pop that round my ankles, and I'm going to leave that there. If you haven't got a loop, tie a band around your ankle, but please make sure you tie it in a bow so that you can actually untie it again afterwards. So we're going to lie on our front. Excellent. And we're going to do some spinal extension work. So I want you to press out against your band or your loop, whichever one you're using. So just pressing the legs out against it so it's got some tension. Think about reaching the legs as far away as possible. We're going to tuck the tailbone under and we're going to suck the belly button into the spine. Staying really long through the spine, so reaching the crown of the head away from the spine. We're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to extend our legs slightly further apart and slightly further up. So you're going to be squeezing into these glute muscles here. And then we're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to pulse out against the band. So again, we're working into those butt muscles that we just worked in the clams. So squeezing out, extending the spine away so your chest lifted slightly up off the mat. Good. Let's take 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the legs. I'm going to push back to child's pose. Just turn ourselves quickly in the other direction. Beautiful. All right, so we're going to just take the band off from round our feet, and we're going to, actually, you can either use the loop or you can bring back to the other band. So we did a little bit of work there where we were working out to the side with the loop, and we're going to do similar. I'm going to just change angle a little bit, where this time we're working more into the upper body, and we're going to still do some extension. Good, excellent. All right, so take a moment to reset yourself. Still reaching the legs away super long, so nice and straight, tailbone tucked under, belly button in, spine long, shoulders pulled away from the ears. We're going to take a nice deep breath in, and this time we're going to just lift the upper body slightly up off the mat, and this time we're going to pulse out into the band. So you're working into the shoulders, you're working all the muscles down your back. Keep squeezing your butt, keep pulling your belly button in, and keep tucking your tailbone under to support your lower back. Let's take 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fab. Turn yourself back the other direction after that spinal extension work. Excellent. All right, we've got 5 more minutes and we are done. So we're going to come back onto our back for just one last exercise. I'm going to grab my block again so that I can lie in good alignment. And we're going to grab our band again. So we're going to work some single leg stability. So taking a nice deep breath in, float one leg up to tabletop, pop the band round it. Make sure you've got the band evenly so you can have your elbows on the floor, and then we're going to extend the leg up above us. We've got the other foot down to the floor and making sure that the foot is in line with the knee, is in line with the hip. And we're going to inhale. As we exhale, we're going to flatten the lower back into the mat, and we're going to peel ourselves up one vertebra at a time. So we squeeze all the way up to the top, and then we're going to inhale as we squeeze the leg down, exhale to squeeze it up. Inhale to squeeze it down, exhale to squeeze it up. One more time, inhale, exhale, and then we're going to inhale, and as we exhale we're going to peel ourselves all the way down, one vertebra at a time. Oh, should we do that again? Yes, please, Jane. Oh, that's what I thought you would say. Peel all the way up, squeezing the foot down into the floor, squeezing up into the butt, keeping the hips lifted. 3 beautiful kicks. 2, last kick. Ah, so good. Inhale, as we exhale, peel all the way back down. Good news, you have 2 legs, so swap feet. And let's do 2 sets on the other side. So nice deep breath in, pull up the pelvic floor, exhale, peel all the way up. So we're pressing the heel down into the floor, we're pressing up into the butt. We inhale, exhale, trying to keep the hips still, stable. Ah, beautiful. Inhale, exhale, peel all the way back down. 1 more here and you are done. So nice deep breath in, exhale, peel all the way up. Beautiful. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, exhale, peel all the way back down. Oh, well, we've made it. Hope you enjoyed that little session with the resistance band. I'll be back again next month doing some work with some other small equipment. Who knows what we're going to do next month. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this and see you again soon. Thank you for joining. Goodbye.